Hi, everybody. Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you're safe and well. Happy Thursday. We're running to this weekend, aren't we, at the moment? And God, I need it. I need a line. But we've got Perth Glory Saturday morning, haven't we? So keep an eye on the channel. We may do a watch along for that as well. All that good stuff. But it's the Hammers Headlines in association with the KUMB.com boys. Today's episode will be a transfer rumour free zone. Although kind of. I did a whole Rusty roundup, rumour roundup at lunchtime today, so check that out. Some interesting new names. Fred from Man United. There we go. Not bad player, I suppose. And yeah, 3 stories for you to talk about. The first one is going to be the headline, sort of the thumbnail thing, and that's about the Qatarian takeover or potential Qatarian takeover. Now, we know at the moment there's 2 competing bids for Man United. We know Sir Jim Ratcliffe's got a bid in, and Qatarian consortium headed up by Sheikh Yazim. Both have put bids in over a month ago, and both haven't heard any response from Man United and the Glazers. But regardless of the outcome, the Qatarian family, the Qatarian group, will basically want to own a Premier League club, and so they are looking at alternatives, backup plans, so to speak. And West Ham apparently could be subject to a takeover if the Man United bid fails, according to BBC journalist Simon Stone. We mentioned it, I think, a couple of months ago when it was all starting, the whole sort of conversation with Man United, but apparently it's even more ramped up now. During the World Cup, it was an open secret, so to speak, that that Qatar were looking to buy a Premier League club, and obviously they went for the biggest one they could get, Man United. And regardless of the outcome of the bid, they want presence in the Premier League. So in a league that's already got Saudi presence and UAE presence as well. So there's a real golf aspect to this all as well. And so they are looking at alternatives, and so they've looked at us apparently and Spurs as well. And yeah, the consensus is that Qatar will pump in money into whoever they buy, much like we see at Man City, and to some extent Newcastle. Not as much, in all honesty, but definitely they've seen some significant investment into Newcastle. And yeah, West Ham could be an exciting focus for them. The fact is, a lot of the property around the London Stadium is owned by Middle Eastern companies already. There's talk of buying maybe Spurs as well, due to sort of location, the fact they own the stadium. Obviously, the stadium wouldn't apply to West Ham as such, but it doesn't say we couldn't buy the stadium, or the consortium taking over couldn't buy the stadium off the LLDC. Both are London-based clubs. Both have access to a large stadium, so perhaps the deal could be more likely than it may otherwise seem, because of the fact of the London sort of biasness to it all as well. Now, there's obviously been speculation for a while about a potential West Ham takeover. It was thought that in some realms that the appointment of Tim Steidten was by the next owners, not by the current management and ownership. Although we've been led to believe that actually it was Mark Noble who recommended Tim Steidten to Sullivan originally, but that's just again speculation. I need to put my rumour alert thing on there. And obviously we'll have the fans have mixed feelings, I think, towards a Middle East, a Qatarian ownership potentially. In the same way that a lot of Newcastle fans had the same for a Saudi sort of takeover. So it's a political minefield, isn't it? And there's obviously mixed feelings towards the current ownership as well at West Ham as well. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, I think. But it'd be interesting to see what happens. And obviously, it's all stems on the outcome. There was talk of Jim Ratcliffe maybe looking at buying West Ham if his bid for Man United wasn't successful. So we could be we could be the bridesmaids. We could be the bridesmaids in this takeover bid fight for Man United. Now, speaking of Tim Steidten, obviously he's been in for about a few weeks now. few weeks now. And according to Clarence Hugh, he has got a mammoth list of targets. And West Ham have made inquiries on all of them. Apparently, there's a list of 20 targets he's brought to the table when he started. And none of the deals are close yet, but it's encouraging. It's encouraging that apparently moves have been made behind closed doors. So, as a Clarence Hugh say from a club insider that the Hammers were inquiring over the availability of up to 20 names as they process a lengthy target list from Tim. He's getting up to speed and discussing transfer options with other stakeholders. And the West Ham board wants to make sure the rice money will be spent wisely to give maximum return on investment. So do not want to rush into transfers for the sake of it, but just to appease fans in terms of being impatient for summer signings. It's not a case of being impatient. It's a case of seeing other sides buying players. I mean, Villa have bought Pau Torres, who's an incredible centre back, and apparently we were looking at him, but apparently not, apparently so, we don't know. It does seem that all the teams around us are investing in players, and we've yet to do that. So it's not a case of appeasing, but it's a case of we're going to get stuck. We're going to be in the same situation, I think, where we'll be last year, where we started buying players far too late. If you look at it, far too late in terms of assuring we're going to be up and running for the beginning of the season. Now, the flip side is we bought a lot of players last season who hopefully will all be fit come the beginning of this season. So the general squad would have improved from the beginning of the transfer window last year, apart from one big Declan Rice shaped hole, which still needs to be sorted. And Arsenal need to get their arse in gear, don't they, and start signing some checks. Otherwise, what's the outcome? The outcome is, I mean, at the moment, Deck is training on his own. Would it be a possibility that we could end up having him back? I can't see it happening, but in the same time, we can't be hanging around for this all the time. We can't be hanging around for money. And it shows probably a wiseness maybe not to invest in money if we haven't got it yet, because we just in case this deal falls through. I just don't know what's going on. But apparently Tim's got a big list. Probably not as big as my list of 112 players that we've been linked with so far, but still a sizable list, which is good to see. We just need to buy some players. Speaking of, let's talk about Scamacca, the Scamacca saga that's been going on for the last couple of days. I'd like to thank everyone for commenting on my and Holly's videos yesterday about the Scamacca incidents, situation, interview, all that type of thing, because it's good to have healthy debate. There's definitely, and obviously, my take of the interview was very different from some other people. But it was very similar to some other people. So actually, it was nice. There was debate, but there wasn't nasty debate, and that's when I think social media and YouTube works really well. When there's like a healthy debate, it's healthy to debate things. It's healthy to have different opinions as well. So anyway, so to compel either view, another article was released yesterday. Was it yesterday or today? It was today, released today, rather. Sorry, the 13th, by the first team coach Billy McKinlay. So Billy McKinlay has shared his views on the want away. Gianluca Scamacca basically claiming the club hasn't seen the best of him yet. He was speaking to Athletic and suggested that a disruptive season has made it difficult for him to settle in East London. Obviously, he's spoken for the Gazzetta dello Sport about in terms of Roma, in terms of everything else, and things were taken out of isolation. However, according to the report today, West Ham feel that Scamacca has unfinished business after just one season. Billy McKinlay was quoted in saying he had a bit of a disruptive season with 1 or 2 injuries, which didn't help him. It's not easy settling into a new league, which is probably the hardest league in Europe physically and mentally to do. We didn't see the best of him. And he had a knee injury during the second half of the year. Apparently, according to him, apparently Scamacca had that injury the whole summer, the whole season. He's come back and he's probably still working up to full fitness. We're delighted to have him back. He's a top player, and I'm sure we'll see that in the coming weeks and months. He'll really benefit from a consistent pre-season. Last summer, he joined us right at the end of the window and missed large chunks of the work. See? Exactly. You buy him too late and anyway. He's a top international. And I'm sure we'll get the benefit from that. I've worked abroad, so I understand the differences between the leagues and cultures. It's up to us to support him and to develop his game. If you get niggling injuries and you end up missing games and training, then it becomes really difficult to get your momentum into the game. Gianluca is an intelligent boy. He wants to learn, and we're all here to help him. So rumours around Scamacca's future, they've been rife this summer, although they seem to be one way from the Italian press here. Doesn't seem to be going the other way out. I mean, West Ham made their stance really clear. And, Billy's made it clear now. Kevin Nolan made it clear on the Talk Sport. They believe the forward still has something to offer for next season. And I think we all do. We're not inundated with strikers. That's an area we need to improve in, maybe need to develop in and maybe invest in. But we know, personally, I think we've got a hell of a player on our hands. We've got a real beast. He definitely gives me Arnautovic vibes, and arguably Arnautovic was the best foil for the Moyes system. Now it's about adaptability. It's about working to Scamacca's strengths as well. So it's not just fitting that piece into the puzzle, but it's making sure that that piece fits correctly into the puzzle. He's got a hell of his locker. He's got great movement. He's a big lad. And he's got a hell of a shot on him. Very tricky. He likes linking up play as well. So we need to let him do that as well. So look, I just think we've got a hell of a player, and it's clear that, as Benny says and as Kevin says, and Scamacca said as well, he's happy here and he wants to learn. Yes, he has aspirations of going back home eventually. You can do that in 5 years' time, mate. When you scored over 80 goals at West Ham and you're the Premier League all-time goal scorer for us and taking over for Mickey. But yeah, I'll be interested to get your thoughts, when the dust has settled, reading now Billy's article as well, what you think about Scamacca and what you think about the Qatarian takeover. Yeah, would you be happy with a Qatarian takeover? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. And that's it. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends. Come your eyes and see you very, very soon. Take care. Bye, bye.